welcome to this week's reading vlog. Today is the start of the next week of Bookoplathon and the Magical Readathon, and once again I have many books that I need to read this week. I'm hoping to increase my reading productivity by going back to reading multiple books in multiple formats at the same time. It's my usual preferred style. I've been slacking a little bit with it recently and have decided this is the time to change things back. I am filming with wet hair, by the way, this morning. I'm trying to dry it naturally today, so it has to go through a kind of messy phase, so bear with me. So this week we obviously have the second part of Oathbringer left to finish, which I'm hoping to get done by the end of the week, but I think I might try and savour this one because I'm not going to be able to get hold of Rhythm of War just yet, unless my library has it, because the paperback is not yet released. So we might be on a bit of a waiting list for the library, in which case I want to savour being in the world of Stormlight as long as possible. I also think having a middle grade this week to break things up a bit would be a good idea, so I think I'm going to pick up the fourth book in the Gods and Warriors series by Michelle Paver, which I've been working my way through over the past few weeks. It's on loan for a friend. I'm really enjoying it. It's nothing particularly exciting to shout about, but it's a good cast of characters, some lovely action, some animal companions, a lovely glimpse of an ancient world, so I'm really enjoying these, and this should be one I can get through pretty quickly. I might start that one this morning actually. And then I also want to pick up an audiobook, so I have a few choices for this. I have a few books that I'm reading on audiobook for this month. I have King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, I have Master Artificer by Justin Call, and I have, what was my third one? Oh, Soulbinder by Sebastian de Castell. So one of those I think I will pick up this week as well. If it is Master Artificer, I definitely won't finish that this week because it's about a 30-hour audiobook. Even listening sped up, I would not get through that in a week, but one of the other two, potentially, I might get a good chunk of read. So that's the plan for this week. Let's get started with reading. I think, as I said, I'm going to start with this one, see if we can get this done in the next couple of days, and then have finally ticked off a book for my September TBR. So it is Tuesday evening and I'm just checking in to let you know I have finally finished my first book of Bookoplathon and the Magical Readathon for September, The Crocodile Tomb by Michelle Paver. This, as I've said before, is the fourth book in the Gods and Warriors series, following two characters, Hylas and Pyrrha, from ancient Greece, and their adventures with their animal companions and their quest to get hold of this prized dagger and keep it away from a evil, if for want of a better word, tribe of men called the Crows, who are trying to steal the dagger and have lots of vengeance against Pyrrha and Hylas, and are always seeming to try and track them down wherever they travel within these continents. This is the fourth book and it takes our main characters to Egypt, which is really interesting. It was my favourite part about this book, was getting to see some of the history of ancient Egypt and the rituals and the talk about their gods and the mummification process and all this kind of thing. It was really interesting. So took a little bit of a different twist to this series, which I was very grateful for. This book was yet another solid 3 stars. All this series has been so far. It's nothing out of the ordinary, it's nothing particularly that I haven't read before. This style of book is very familiar for a middle grade series, but I really like the characters. I love the descriptions of the settings. It followed a very similar format to the other books, with our main duo in trouble, on the run, encountering lots of new people, new friends, new animals that's helped save them, and lots of twists and turns in the story and digging themselves out of these seemingly impossible scrapes. So it was really fun. I'm glad I finished this one, and it was a good one to start off the month. I have made a little bit more progress in Oathbringer as well. It's getting so tense and full of drama, this book. Honestly, I don't know how much more of this I can take. It is absolutely incredible and very much on track of being another 5-star read for me. I'm nearly halfway now, I think, through this one. Not sure whether I'll get it finished this week or not, but fingers crossed we can make a good bit more progress. It's come to a point where pretty much all the characters are having a breakdown for one reason or another. They're all realising that actually their heroic ways of trying to save everybody and get the world out of the difficulties that it's found itself in is actually not working as well as it has been in the past, and they're all having these internal crises about the people that they're letting die and the people that they're trying to save who are ending up fighting each other, and kind of personal identity crises as well. So it's quite emotionally tense at the moment. There's a lot of angst, which I was not expecting in this series, but I hope they will all come through and be bigger people at the end of it. But it's at a very tense point of this story, so I'm really excited to get back into this one. So hopefully we can make some good progress with that one. I think I also am going to start an audiobook at some point this week. If one of the evenings I get to go on a walk, I think I will pick up either King of Thorns or Soulbinder. I think I'm in the mood for another Jo Jameson audiobook after finishing Charmcaster last week, but you will see what it is that I finally pick up. But for now, a little bit more Oathbringer, and then I'm going to bed. It's actually quite late this evening, and for some reason I'm feeling wide awake, but I definitely can't afford to have a late night because of work tomorrow morning. Oh, the joys of adult life. So I'll catch up with you again very soon.
Hello, so it is Thursday evening. I think it's Thursday. I lose track of the days. Pretty sure it's Thursday evening. And I've come on a walk after work and just a little bit of a neighbourhood stroll, not too far, but I decided I wanted to start a new audiobook. I'm getting on fairly well with Oathbringer, but I wanted something I could listen to while I'm on my walk. So I've decided to pick up one of the audiobooks that's on my September TBR, and that is King of Thorns by Mark Lawrence, narrated once again by the wonderful Jo Jameson, who is my absolute favourite audiobook narrator. I could go on about how wonderful this man's voice is all day, so please bear with me, but he is truly brilliant as an audiobook narrator, and I really enjoyed his portrayal of Prince of Thorns, the first one in this series, King of Thorns being the second of the trilogy, and I'm really excited to see how this story progresses. I'm only about half an hour in so far, not very far at all, but already I'm intrigued. We've been thrown straight back into the action. Our main character is just about to embark in some kind of fight or war or goodness knows what's going on at the moment. It's all very political still. But I really, really enjoy this series and I'm so excited to be back. The first one I found, it was like nothing else I'd ever read really. It's very typical of the sort of grimdark genre, you know, it's a very niche area of fantasy with very morally grey characters, quite a lot of graphic violence and a lot of things that people would find quite disturbing. I'm sure there are many trigger warnings for this book, so if you want to pick it up, please do check those out first before you give it a go. But I found myself really actually enjoying reading about the characters, considering they are quite horrible people, especially our main character, whose name I really struggle to pronounce. It's Jorg, so it could be Jorg, could be Jorg, could be George, I have no idea. I'm going to go with Jorg because that's what they say in the audiobook. But our main character Jorg is, in the first book, I think about 14 years old, and he acts way beyond his age, and he's an absolute horrible person for most of the book. He does some absolutely unforgivable things. He murders people, he rapes people, he has horrible opinions about most of the people around him, but there are these little glimmers of humanity in there, these little bits of his character that make you think, actually, yeah, this is just a really damaged kid. It's not actually someone who's bad to the core, that makes you actually root for him as a character and want to see more of his development and where the story goes. So it's a really interesting read. I loved the first one. I read it a couple of years ago, so I think I remember enough to be able to go into the second one. Little bits of the plot so far that they're reminding us of, I'm thinking, oh yes, I do remember that now. But I maybe could have done with a little bit of a recap, but I'm sure it will all start to make sense soon. I remember the main characters at least, so that's something. But I'm really excited to see where Jorg's character development goes and whether we get any more of a redemption story or whether he just gets even worse than he already is and becomes more unforgivable. It's sort of not quite a villain story, but it's very morally grey. As I said, it really fits into that character, but I really, really like it, and I'm looking forward to listening to a lot more of this story. So I will not get this one finished this week, but it will be a good one for me to take with me when I go on holiday next week, well, on Sunday, because I'll have lots of time in the car driving to and from there, and also when we're out on walks and things to be listening to the rest of this book. So this will be one that I will get done hopefully within the next week and a half or so, but probably try and get through another maybe hour of this tonight. I'm listening on 1.7 speed, so I should get through it fairly quickly, but all good so far. Really intrigued to see where things go, so I will get back to walking and listening.
Hello, so just checking in with an update to let you know I am on a race against time to get Oathbringer finished before I go on holiday tomorrow. I have about 300 pages left to read today, but obviously have quite a busy day of getting things ready to go on holiday, getting my packing done, lots of errands. I'm currently visiting my grandma today because I won't get to see her for another week, so we have lots of things going on, but I am really hoping I can get this book finished today and maybe a tiny bit tomorrow morning if it rolls over, because I don't want to have to take this one away with me on top of all the other books that I'm also taking away. Which I'm going to show you once I'm back home. I will run you through my reads for the holiday week. But in terms of Oathbringer, I'm getting on very well, albeit slightly slowly. I did read another book midweek this week, but Oathbringer is still on the go and I'm still really enjoying it. It's all set to be another 5-star. I'm really enjoying this series so much. It's really well written. The characters are incredible. I'm loving the development, as I said at the end of the first book, of the wider plot. We've got a lot more political involvement. We've got a lot more of the great overarching story going on. So it's all going really well, but it's a big book. It was my big book prompt for Bookoplathon, so I knew it wasn't going to be an easy one to get through quickly, but all going really well, and fingers crossed I can find time this evening. I can get all my errands done during the day and find time this evening to have a good go at that one. Would be useful if there were sprints on. I'm not sure if anyone's running them tonight, but I will take a look. But yeah, Oathbringer is coming along nicely. Fingers crossed we can get that one done today. I will check in with you when I'm back home, as I said, to show you my holiday reads and give you an update once I've done a bit more reading. Hello, so just quickly taking you through the books I'm going to take on my holidays. I'm just doing my packing, so let's get round to that one. So firstly, I'm going to take The Pagan Lord by Bernard Cornwell. This is, I think, the 6th in the Last Kingdom series. A really, really good series that I have been enjoying over the past couple of years but haven't actually read one of. But I'm really keen to get back into the series, particularly on this holiday, as it covers an area that I'm actually going to be visiting. The main character, Uhtred's ancestral home of Bebbanburg, is actually based on Bamburgh Castle, which is very close to where I'm staying, and I will be visiting during this week. So, nice quick read. Very excited to get back into this world, so this one is coming with me. The next one I'm going to take is The Fires of Heaven by Robert Jordan. This is the 5th in the Wheel of Time series. I've been working my way through this series over the past few months and I'm really, really enjoying where I am so far, so I'm excited to get back into the story. It is, however, a huge book. It is satisfyingly floppy. Really happy with this, but it's very thin pages and quite small text, as you can see, so this, I think 900 pages or something, is going to take me quite a long time. So holiday is definitely the best time to read it because I'm definitely at my most productive with reading while I'm away. And then the final book I think I'm going to take with me, physically at least, is The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. I have this beautiful cloth-bound classic edition, which you can see there, gorgeous patterns on the front, and I just fancied something that's a little bit of a change of pace, a very short book, I think comprised of some short stories as well, so this will be a nice break if I want something different than historical fiction or fantasy that I'm bringing with me. I will also be finishing listening to the audiobook of King of Thorns, which I've started this week, by Mark Lawrence, narrated by Joe Jameson, which I'm really enjoying. I will be listening to some of that on my journey up there tomorrow, on the way home as well, and probably throughout the week on different journeys and walks as well. I do also have other audiobooks on standby that I can start if for some reason I finish all of those, which I highly doubt I will, but you never know. So lots of good reading plans. Hopefully this will be a productive week. Hello, so I'm just checking in to round out this week's vlog. I am just about to head off on holiday, so unfortunately I did not manage to get through the very end of part 2 of Oathbringer, but it doesn't matter, I will take it with me and hopefully get that read in the first day or so of my holiday. It won't detract from everything else that I want to read, but I was hoping not to have to take another book with me, but never mind, there is plenty of room in the car, it may as well come with me. And I'm absolutely loving it so far. I didn't want to rush the end of the story because it's really going very well for me. So, just to wrap up this week's reading, I have read another good chunk of Oathbringer Part 2. I have also read the entirety of The Crocodile Tomb by Michelle Paver, the middle grade that I was reading in the Gods and Warriors series, which I gave 3 stars. And I have also read about a third now of the King of Thorns audiobook by Mark Lawrence, which again I'm really enjoying so far. A little bit of a different storyline from the very first book in the series, which I really enjoyed, but I feel like I'm still at the point of settling back into the story and how things have changed, so I'm particularly liking that one too. So lots of good reading progress this week. I feel like I'm back to myself. I'm finally back into reading how I normally want to and the amount that I normally would, so fingers crossed things carry on just the same in the future. So without further ado, I'm going to leave this vlog here and head off on holiday. You will see me again very soon. I'm going to start next week's vlog today when I actually arrive on holiday, so you'll get hopefully lots of nice footage of the Northumberland countryside and all my adventures, as well as lots of reading too. So thank you very much for watching this video. Give me a like down below if you enjoyed it. Chat to me in the comments about any of the books I've mentioned or anything else you'd like to discuss with me. And please consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content from me. It really means a lot. Thank you for watching. I will see you very soon with the next video, but bye for now.